at the busiest corner in town, with trucks roaring and horns blaring. There was patched shoes, thrifted backpack slung over one shoulder. Just another face in the daily crowd. But when I noticed this old man, cane trembling, eyes flickering at the endless stream of cars, something in me just stopped. People kept walking. Some even snickered, wondering what someone like me thought I could do. But I couldn't walk past. Not with the way his knuckles whitened. Not with that half-panicked look like he'd already calculated just how invisible he'd become. So I squared my shoulders, found his arm, and together, we braved the river of engines and exhaust guiding him. Him trusting me. I figured that'd be it. Just a small moment, one I'd forget by dinner time. But the look he gave me when we hit the curb of relief. But also something secret, a sort of recognition I couldn't place. It stuck with me. I never thought that little act would ripple out and upend so much more than just our morning. Now, mornings in our part of town always started early, sun slanting through smudged windows, warming the street outside, but never quite reaching where I walked. My shoes had holes. My backpack was stitched from a mess of old fabric, and every step felt like it might wear through the last of my dignity. Still, I kept my chin up, breathing slow, counting paces, letting the smells of baking bread drift by as I passed the corner bakery. It was a place where the world hurried, omnibuses grunting, scooters weaving. Nobody noticed you unless you were in their way. I was used to it. Honestly, that's why. When I saw the old man standing at the edge of the sidewalk, one shoe forward, then back, cane wavering, it hit me different. The people around us didn't even blink. Some kids on scooters zipped past, their laughter trailing behind, and two women near the mailbox whispered about me. That's the girl who sweeps up after class. Always tired. Always patched clothes. I'd heard it all before. The constant tallying of what I had versus what I lacked. But the way the old man hesitated, the way his breath caught, there was something about it that wouldn't let me walk on. So, I lined up beside him, watched the flood of metal and rubber fly by, and waited for that slim chance to cross. A horn blasted. Brakes hissed. My heart beat a little faster, but I raised my hand anyway. The first car slowed, then another. Not because I was anyone special, just because sometimes you have to believe a little kindness will catch on. I didn't drag him, didn't rush him. We just stepped together, one painted stripe at a time, my fingers close enough to steady him if he wobbled. The world felt like it paused, just us and the din of traffic. Halfway through, a bus mirror nearly brushed my sleeve, but I didn't flinch, didn't let him falter. Step by step, we made it. He hit the far curb, his cane steady, and let out a breath that sounded like gratitude and something deeper. I brushed the dust off my skirt, ready to melt back into the day. But then, softly, he said, "You kept me from falling." I shrugged, said it was nothing, that anyone would do it. But even as I walked away, the stares, the whispers, the low laughter of kids, there goes the patched shoe girl, acting like a hero, all of it pressed against my back. Still, his eyes had lingered, and that memory walked with me, heavier than my backpack. Sometimes it hurt knowing people expected nothing from me, or worse, expected me to fail. But for a moment, the old man's look made all of that noise seem small. Days passed. School. Chores. The slow churn of life in a house where the roof leaked and the fridge always looked a little empty. I didn't think about the crosswalk, or him, or the small seed of pride I tried to ignore. But then, on a Thursday afternoon, with the light slanting gold through the kitchen, a knock sounded at our door. We never got visitors. My mom, wiping her hands on her apron, opened it, and there he was. Not frail, not trembling, straight-backed, cane barely needed, boots solid on our porch. Behind him, a battered old truck, bed piled with wooden crates stamped with the name of the biggest farm in town. I felt my breath catch. That name meant more than just produce, it meant power. Respect. Roots that went back generations. What was he doing here? He didn't waste words. Stepping inside, careful not to scuff our worn floor. He nodded at me. You didn't know me that day, he said, but I recognized you. You didn't measure the cost, you just held on. I stood there, Rach in my hand, feeling both proud and embarrassed. My mom looked as stunned as I felt. He set down a crate apples, bread, jars of honey, the air suddenly filled with the scent of something bright and good. My little brother peeked around the corner, eyes huge. The old man rested both hands on his cane. This town knows me as the rich farmer. But all that means nothing if we forget what matters. You reminded me. So, I'm here to offer something back. He slid an envelope across our battered table inside. A scholarship form, his farm seal shining on the corner. My mom gasped. I'll pay for your schooling, he said. Not charity, not pity. It's an investment because you saw worth where others don't even look. Outside, the neighbors gossiped, peering at the truck, assuming the worst, probably begging for leftovers. I heard one mutter through the window, but the old man just shook his head. Ignore them. You're already richer than they'll ever be. My eyes stung, and my mom wiped her face with the edge of her apron. The old man wasn't done. There's honest work on my farm. Wages enough for your family to breathe a little easier. I want hands that know how to care. My brother, emboldened by kindness, bit into an apple with a grin. Laughter echoed in our tiny kitchen, and for the first time in a long while, it felt like hope. Months slipped by. Life changed slowly, mornings spent studying with books he'd given me. My mother working in the fields with pride instead of exhaustion. Our kitchen table always set, even if simple. At school, people noticed. Some whispered, some scoffed, but none could deny the change. Luck, they called it. But luck had nothing to do with how I still worked. How kindness had become my armor. The night I won an award at school, the auditorium buzzed with noise. My name called. I walked up, new shoes clicking no longer invisible. My mother's applause. The old farmer's proud smile. They were the only trophies I needed. Standing there, I realized sometimes it's the smallest act, the unnoticed kindness, that sparks the change that lasts a lifetime. So if this story meant something to you, or if you know someone who needs to hear it, hit that subscribe button, share this with a friend, and remember sometimes, what you do for a stranger comes back to lift your whole world. Your next act of kindness might just be the start of a brand new story.